Greetings, everyone. Greetings, everyone. This information was compiled by Mike Franz of Helicopter SBT, and I'm going to take a few minutes to familiarize you with helicopter dolly operations and procedures. These were developed and safely used by U.S. helicopter safety team members. It is important in any situation to always pre-flight your dolly, such as you would your aircraft. Check the dolly surface, the wheels, the tongue or towing connection. Check the attachments and chocks, but verify that they are all in serviceable condition. The primary key to safe and proper landing operations on the dolly is to recognize and create visual references when the helicopter is in the proper position on the dolly. This step must be completed prior to departure. Identify references with tail rotor pedal shafts and footrests through the chin bubble on Bell products, or to a pilot's door window on Airbus products, for instance. These can help you identify a safe position of the helicopter on the dolly. Returning the helicopter to this safe and referenced position will ensure that the helicopter will not tilt or fall off the dolly and strike the tail rotor or the tail boom when you lower the collective. The elements of dynamic rollover should always be considered when operating near dollies. Therefore, smooth and slow is the way to go. Once a vertical takeoff to a hover is completed, transition away from the dolly. At any time, should your aircraft develop problems while taking off or landing, as safely as possible, maneuver away from the dolly for landing. Pilots should always be aware of wind speed and the direction before taking off or landing. Upon touchdown, of course, you will want to reduce the collective and the throttle smoothly and use your peripheral vision to check for any rotation of the dolly. It is also not a bad idea after shutdown to note the position on the dolly and whether or not your selected reference points actually worked. Many pilots that land on a dolly for the first time often make the same mistakes in that they do not have reference points selected. If you fly over the dolly and are still in a hover, a vertical descent is a hazard due to the lack of visual references. Either land the aircraft safely on the ground or return to a 3 to 5 foot hover above and behind the dolly and fly forward and down to the desired reference position. Failing to do that creates hazards and risks that can turn fatal. Missing your previously selected reference points should be your no-go decision point. This is where you consider it a rejected landing or a go-around type of situation. And remember that aeronautical decision-making is just as important in this situation as in any other. In training to land on dollies, it is important to incorporate all of the things discussed in the previous slides, but start with the ground and use tangible things like runway numbers to represent a dolly. This strategy gives you a great, safe training environment and helps build the skills of perception, reference selection, and a good place to incorporate various wind scenarios and difficulty levels. Operators should incorporate sound processes for decision-making when attempting dolly operations. These should include things discussed in this presentation: pre-flight, pre-takeoff referencing for return, skill sets and discussions on avoiding dynamic rollover, dolly setup, which includes immobilizing, stabilized 3 to 5 foot hovers above and behind the dolly, flying forward and down to the referenced position, then smoothly lowering the collective and slowly decreasing the throttle. all of these elements incorporate a sound aeronautical decision-making process for Dolly Operations.